What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles. You are listening and hopefully watching Lyles Movie Files. We finally got some video up in this camp, so yeah, welcome to the new era of Lyles Movie Files. And if you're just listening on the podcast, we still thank you so much. Joining me as always is little brother Jace. How are you today, bro?
I'm good. How are you?
Chilling. Big Gun, how are you?
What's good? What's good? How's everything?
I will not complain as of yet. Chief, what's going on with you, man?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
You know what? This radio, smooth talk, love, slow jams, DJ voice. I need some hype and excitement. Let's see if this can get you ready and hyped up to talk. Scarlett Johansson suing Disney. She said, listen, you guys screwed me over on this Black Widow thing coming to Disney Plus. I want half, Eddie. What my money? All right, so we all know the situation. Black Widow was delayed 43 times from its original theatrical date. There's a pandemic that apparently might not be over. I don't understand because everyone's followed the guidelines and did everything that we were supposed to do, but somehow this virus isn't over yet. Pandemic's still making people not excited about going to the movie theaters, and it's causing some chaos at the box office because big movies are not doing big business this summer like in days gone by. Disney recognized that some people don't want to go to the theaters. They're like, good, nah, I don't want to take a chance on catching this virus and dying just to see a dead character on the screen. So Black Widow got, like some other films, this isn't the only one, of course, but it got the theatrical and Disney Plus day and day release. You got to pay an extra $30 to get Black Widow right now. And I think we said that raked in 60 million on Disney Plus, 80 million opening weekend at the box office. That's pretty good. Not normal Disney Studios or Marvel Studios production haul for opening weekend, but really, really good. Sets the record for the pandemic era, which is great. The second weekend, not so great. It was down 69%. And that's a big drop for any movie. But maybe that's because half the people were like, the people who wanted to see what happened and what Black Widow was doing in between that space of Civil War and Infinity War were satisfied. We're like, cool, I've seen what happened. They weren't going, yo, you really got to see this. This is a very important, pivotal part of the story that if you don't watch, Infinity War won't make any sense. And Endgame is just going to leave you, what? What's happening? That wasn't the case. So it had a big drop. Scarlett Johansson sues Disney saying, hey, listen, I was promised money and the big payday from my theatrical release of Black Widow. You guys didn't deliver. You undercut the budget by putting it on Disney Plus, and I got screwed because I don't get this profit from Disney Plus. I want to share my take, but I want to hear what you guys think about it first. Jace, let's start with you.
Sadly, I think this was one of the reasons when it was initially kind of tossed out that there was going to be a simultaneous release. I think last July, before the Lakers even won the championship, basically like they were like, "Hey, we're going to do it to show it to the NBA players," and it was like, "No, y'all aren't going to do that because it cuts into my box office because these people could rent out a whole theater and show it to their families, and I get the money." It was always a dicey proposition. It was like Disney was like, "Hey, trying to delay, we're delaying. We've done above and beyond Chris Nolan delay to get this movie out. And because we've actually seen the movie, it's not pivotal to watch. So we could literally throw this in the can forever, and everyone's just gonna be like, oh, whatever happened to the Black Widow movie, but it's never gonna be like, you needed to see it. So, from Scarlett Johansson's purpose, I understand, I agree with her. But also say there was room to negotiate that contract in that space of a year, saying, hey, if we're going to do it, I understand this is how it's going to be. I got my nice mansion and can do whatever the heck I want. I even got married during the pandemic or something. Not 90% of the world can do that. So I need to, how do we come to an arrangement where everybody's as whole as we can be? Because this isn't going to be a $1 billion movie. if nobody wants to go to the theater. So that was kind of on her. Even though I agree she should be mad, but you have to be a little proactive. Make sure somebody doesn't screw you over.
All right, so that raises a good point. So while you were talking, I looked up Wonder Woman 1984 came out in theaters December 27th, same day it was released on HBO Max. So you got that was like a classic example of hey, and we know from watching Wonder Woman 1984 and being huge big fans of how awesome that movie was not. It earned 16.7 million its opening weekend. That's terrible for a blockbuster movie. Worldwide, I'm sorry, let me continue to break it down in a breadcrumb format. So its total gross in North America was $46.5 million. If you're paying attention at home, that's still less than what Black Widow made from Disney Plus alone. And Disney had the foresight to at least go, hey, listen, we're going to charge people for our streaming service. And if they really want to, they can pay to see it, which people did. And so they got money from it, right? Its total gross, Wonder Woman 1984, was $166.5 million. That's not good. Like, since the superhero era, that's really low. And Wonder Woman's quality really hurt it. So the word of mouth was terrible. People were like, don't go see this movie. I don't know what they were thinking. But in the span of time from, I think it's 4 delays from when it was originally supposed to come out, Patty Jenkins, the director / screenwriter, and Gal Gadot, star of Wonder Woman 1984, sat down with Warner Brothers and were like, listen, that's cool if you want to put this on HBO Max, but you're going to pay us for doing that. And I feel like Scarlett Johansson's agent is the one that's really at fault here for not going, hey, you know what? This movie's been delayed a few times. Maybe we should do the same thing. Knowing and reading the room of the world that people are in a pandemic and don't want to go to movies. Like, even if it was 50-50, that's like half. So if 80 million is literally half, that would have made 166 million its opening weekend, which is more in line of a low tier Marvel Studios film. So if you go like that, you go, all right, listen, we want to renegotiate for whatever. Because, I mean, Black Widow's dead. So there's not a lot of room for more paydays for Scarlett Johansson even coming into this joint. It's not like, yo, don't forget that next movie. Don't forget her special appearance in Captain America 4. Not happening. All she has is flashbacks. So she and her agent should have been like, listen, this is our last big Marvel Studios payday. We need to go hard. So you can release it on whatever platform you want to. We just want a percentage of all the gross. And you know, I think I was talking to you guys earlier over the weekend. Like, listen, Scarlett Johansson's been around as an actress. I assume her agent has as well, from the era of VHS tapes to DVD tapes or DVD disc to Blu-ray to 4K to streaming. Now, if you've been around in the last 20 years, you know the hot property doesn't stay that way for long. I mean, I was watching my Resident Evil Blu-rays and they were like, ultraviolet. I'm like, gosh, that was a fad that came and went. But I mean, you know, technology is moving at a rapid rate. So you can't say, all right, well, I will happily take a percentage of all the VCR or VHS sales or the DVD sales. I mean, you got to work hard to find DVDs of stuff now. So if you're stuck in that old model, you're going to get screwed over, and your client in this case is going to get screwed over. So as soon as they were like, we're setting up Disney Plus, they should have been like, listen, tear up that old contract. We want to renegotiate quietly behind the scenes so we don't make a big PR disaster like what's going on right now. And everybody's happy. I just want a little bit of, I want to wet my beak from the streaming service that you guys want to charge my stuff on, and it's all good. I'm happy. I'll happily do a voiceover for What If. If you want me in a flashback, that's money too. Chief, what do you think about this?
Well, if I was to tell Scarlett Johansson that I'm not getting paid enough in my job, how do you think she would react?
I feel like she
Would that
probably
affect her
wouldn't care.
sleep? Right. So I'm along the same lines as that with her money. I don't care if she gets paid or doesn't get paid. is she? I don't know what the contract was. I don't even know how much it cost the studio to make the movie. So is the studio in paying her gonna lose money? You know, I have no idea. It didn't make any real money. She should have negotiated better maybe. But at the same time, you know, what does Scarlett Johansson get for a movie? I mean, she's not the top tier actress. I don't think where she's getting 25 million a movie. Don't they make that
I
now the
think
top?
she's probably pretty close to that. Like she's probably on that Meryl Streep tier.
I think she was in 12 or something, but you think she gets 25 million a movie?
Well, it depends on the movie, but I would think that she's right up in the mix of top grossing actresses.
Okay. Well, I mean, Disney can afford it. Pay her. I mean, you know what I mean? If that's just the case, man, sure. I mean, give her money then. You know? I mean, it's not like if they pay her 20 million, Disney's gonna take a loss. All right, guys, we gotta close up.
We gotta shut down Disney World.
Right.
Scarlett Johansson broke this.
If you did some old slickery stuff on the contract and you owe her the money, then pay her. If not, then it is what it is. Sometimes it costs more to go to court and pay lawyers and do these things and yada yada than it would take to just pay a person. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like sometimes you pay $30,000 for a lawyer, and you would only pay that if you decided to pay the person, it'll cost you $12.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
win in the end.
Right. So, it's just one of those things. But I mean, like, I don't care. When I heard about it, I didn't lose sleep over it. Scarlett is fine. Her money's fine. She's living a better life than any of us.
I don't know. My life is pretty amazing, Chief. As you can tell from behind me. I mean, I had that waterfall.
You're not on your yacht. You're not doing the cast from your yacht.
I could. I could. It's an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an option that you own a skipper's hat.
Yeah. and a little wheel.
Right.
And besides, she's got that Colin Jost Saturday Night Live money, too, to fall back on if times get tough.
Well, yeah, look, and what's on Ryan Reynolds' alimony checks.
I feel like he's probably the one cashing in alimony on her, but that's a whole other thing.
It is what it is, man. I just feel like,
All right, I'm with you. All right, Gunner, what's your take on this? I'm trying to look up something for this Star Wars.
I mean, for me, my thing about this is like, you knew this was gonna stream. Why wait to sue them? It's been like, I think you already picked it up. That's why I was sitting here like nodding the whole time you were saying that. I'm like, you had a year and a half, right, or whatever, to be like, yo, if you're gonna stream it, give me the dough.
Right.
So I think it's more agent's fault. You'd be suing the agent, not us, not Disney, not us shareholders of Disney, not Disney.
You're like, not me. Don't sue me, Scarlett.
Not me.
I got nothing for you.
I'm a shareholder. You're suing me, dog. Like, yo, I saw Don Juan. Like, you know what I mean? You be making bad choices. I saw, what the hell? You be making bad choices. Don't get mad at me because they didn't make good choices in other movies. Now you're trying to get the Disney payday by suing them instead of just renegotiate your contract? Come on now. So this is either a ploy to just settle and then start a precedent so Disney can start changing these contracts and all the streaming services can't change the contracts, or it was just an omission of her agent, or she's just taking advantage of the original omission of her agent. So I don't know, man. I'm sitting here like with Chief too. I'm like, she ain't starving, but I get it. So this must be trying to prove a point. You know what I mean? I'm like, if you're trying to prove a point, cool. You know what I mean? Like, great, say that. But I haven't heard that. I heard she's just trying to get her dough. You know what I mean? Like, so in which case I'm like, you could have got your dough and renegotiated forever, because I also went and researched Gal Gadot and the whole thing with Wonder Woman, and I did that on purpose because women in the industry don't get shit. You talk about black women, Lord. So when I couldn't find a black woman superhero movie to to go look up, so I just went with the shitty Wonder Woman 84. So again, Scarlett should like stop talking, because we can go in on that too. Ghost in the Shell, some Asian character. Get out of my face. Anyway, so you know what I'm saying? She makes bad choices. So I'm sorry you make shitty choices. And the best choice that you ever made is now they just killed you off. So why? And yeah, like why didn't you negotiate that? Like that's your last paycheck from them.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. I just didn't get it. So now, of course, there's all this talk about the floodgates being open. Emma Stone is concerned, or is allegedly considering following in Scarlett Johansson's steps, and also possibly suing Disney because they put Cruella out on Disney Plus, and it ate into her box office. I would also argue that who the heck was demanding a Cruella movie about Cruella DeVille, the villain of 101 Dalmatians? Yeah, as the hero. Now that movie opened to $21.4 million. Its total gross domestically was 85.4. Again, I mean, that's just what Black Widow made at the box office its opening weekend. Its total worldwide gross was $221 million. And I'm trying to think if there's a movie that's been so big. Maybe if Vin Diesel sued Universal, because I would say he has a better claim to sue than anybody else, because the Fast and Furious movies have made billions. They have been certified bankable. Oh yeah, this junk is making $1 billion. The last two made $1 billion, at least $1 billion each, right? This one, people are excited about. Oh yeah, new Fast and Furious. Like before the pandemic, when we saw the trailers, like, oh man, a new Fast and Furious. Pandemic hits. Okay, we'll wait this sucker out. And now it's on like video on demand right now. Like Tuesday, it just dropped on that format. So it was available. They did something different. But anyway, I'm saying that he at least has this the track record to say, my movies have made a ton of money because you shortened my theatrical window. I'm suing you guys. He's not, because he's like, I can still get paid and I've still got Fast and Furious 10 and 11. Yeah, okay, whatever. But this is interesting. So Jace told me that Dwayne Johnson was not suing. He was not taking Disney to the proverbial court because Jungle Cruise made some money. It made $26 million its opening weekend. It made $90 million. I'm sorry, it made $34.2 million its opening weekend. It made $90 million globally. Not a lot for a blockbuster, but it's still a pandemic. And everybody who's like, yo, I want my movie in theaters so I can not make money off of it. And if it was in the theaters, it would have made more money. I mean, see Christopher Nolan and Tenet. People aren't going to the theaters. They're like, no, dude, I'm good. You have like a percentage of people who are going, but you see that other percentage is really important to make a movie financially successful. Gunner.
Side note, very glad I didn't see Tenet in the theater. Glad I waited till I have all my free HBO Max through AT&T.
I like Tenet. I just wish that he had made such a fuss about it, because I feel like
I liked it, but it wasn't worth the fuss. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I liked it, but I'm sitting here like, I'm glad I didn't go to the theater and try to risk my life to see it. No, I'm like, okay, this is a good movie.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't doing that. I would have enjoyed seeing it on a big screen, but I'm not doing all that for it.
If it was like Matrix, like we never saw Matrix before. If it was Matrix, I'd be like, damn, this would have been cool in the theater. Like, you know what I mean? But that joint wasn't groundbreaking. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay.
What's up, Chief?
I've seen things in reverse.
I'm just asking, are they getting just a percentage? Are they getting paid off a percentage, or are they promised just money straight up?
I don't know their contracts. So the thing is,
but that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because if you're getting a percentage off the movie, I guess. But at the same time, if you're just getting money straight up,
it's not okay. You get like a base for starring in the movie, and then you get residuals and a percentage of the gross of the movie. Now, again, here's my flip side of this. It's like, if you want to start suing studios for potential earnings, which I think would be a very speculative term, like not Rock, but like I think Jeff made a great analogy, which then Diesel could, because hey, I have a track record. Like, hey, you couldn't say, oh, here's what Captain Marvel made. Here's what Captain America made. So I should be in line with that. It's like, that's way too speculative for a court to really decide. Like, we can really say what you should have made. But then we'd also look at the domestic gross box office for the year, and that's in line with what you could have made, and that's probably your ceiling of earning. It's like you guys made as much as everybody, so you really, even if you win this claim, I don't think you're going to get damages on this because it's like you guys got every drop of money you could, or you could have got. We could point to Christopher Nolan's release and say, "Here's what you would have got for your big block."
All right, here you go. I looked up for you because I was curious, and I think this is really interesting. So, Captain Marvel came out the year before the pandemic. Its opening weekend gross, because I'm shaky at math, so add this up for me, fellas. Its opening weekend gross was $153 million. So if I take my $80 million from theaters and my $60 million from Disney Plus, what's that give me?
40.
130.
Now, if you consider, some people are gonna be like, why am I paying to see a Black Widow movie? She's dead. I'm good. I don't need to. So let's say that's 13, 14 million worth of people. And then also people like, yo, does everybody know it's a pandemic? I'm not going to the theaters. And I'm not paying $30 for a movie I just need to wait a few more months to get for free because I'm already paying for Disney Plus. Now, maybe you got some argument there, but it's like, Black Widow was never going to be the success that Captain Marvel was. Captain Marvel was a character that they set up to be like, yo, she's coming at the end of Infinity War. Watch out. Mm-hmm. So you got people hyped. Oh, word, they're finally bringing her into the joint. Black Widow was like, oh, she's dead, but check out this extra bonus behind the scenes story you've never seen.
Also, wouldn't that open up, if she was to win, wouldn't that open up suing the movie, the movie people for flops?
That's
exactly. That's what Jason was saying. Yeah. That's exactly what Jason was saying.
Yeah. My movie would have made so much more money if you advertised it during the Super Bowl.
Right. So, okay. So, I mean, you get what you get. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah,
so if you got 8 million or 10 million, and then you made another 3% off the whatever they bought in or whatever it is. I mean, it is what it is. I don't,
Well, Mark,
or the other thing was to wait, right? But this pandemic might be 5 more years before you can go back to a theater and be comfortable. I mean, every time you turn on the TV, it's Delta, it's Alpha, it's Bravo variant. You know what I mean? Like, it's, we're down to, they're naming variants like hurricanes coming through this bitch. It may not be over. You know what I mean? We might be 2030 before we can go outside again comfortably.
I mean, look at the other thing. It's like they were in the one window where you could have, if they'd even said, hey, we'll release it in September, this movie gets delayed. They're like, no, we can't do it. We're going to have to renegotiate again.
Yeah.
It's just like,
her agent
this sometimes accept the money. Yeah.
I
think
it's her agent.
Yeah, her agent just messed up. Right. Or the agency messed up. Yes. And they're just being like,
Let's try to get Disney because we'll have enough people not feeling sympathetic towards Disney. So, all right.
I mean, I am. Damn it.
I know you are. All right, let's move on here because there's a few more things I want to talk about, and I talked about that way longer than I thought we were going to. All right, so quick up. We've got What If coming next from Disney Plus, and it's like 50 of the MCU actors are going to be reprising their characters. That's a lot. No Chris Evans, no Robert Downey Jr. Shockingly, no Scarlett Johansson. But we're going to see some cool stuff, and I'm really looking forward to it. The first season is going to be 9 episodes. They had a 10th one planned, but it's getting pushed back till season 2 because of COVID. Because, of course, everything is because of COVID. One of the prominent characters is Peggy Carter's Captain Carter. She is very featured. She's got a Marvel Legends figure coming. She's also got a Hot Toys figure coming, which means they're really behind this character. And it may not be the only time we see Captain Carter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's rumblings now that she may show up as a live-action hero in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of the Madness, because we can go to different worlds because of Doctor Strange opening everything up. How excited are you at the possibility and potential of crossovers from What If popping into Doctor Strange? Further showing how you can connect your TV and your movie universe. I know that's taboo if you're DC, but Chief, what do you think about that?
I just want to watch What If. It doesn't have to connect to anything. I don't need any connection. I don't. You know what I mean? Like the way everything is right now, man. I don't need a full Avengers connect through the movies, through Disney Plus, and even the people who don't have Disney Plus, what the hell are they gonna do when they can't see
Buy Disney Plus.
the connections, going through or whatever? I'm fine with just everything standalone. I mean, they make some decent standalone shows as is, and
Those shows are
if you want
standalone.
Huh?
Those shows are standalone. You need a deep knowledge of what's come before to appreciate WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Loki. Like, you can't just go on the code and like, hey, what's this Marvel stuff I've heard so much about? You would be super lost.
But yeah, I mean, but what I'm saying is they do fine on their own. Like, you can do the Scarlet Witch, and then you can come back with another series of Scarlet Witch that doesn't even have anything to do with, you know what I mean? Like,
but that's not their formula. Like, everything is going from movie to TV.
Movies. You got to know who Vision is, and so on and so forth.
Right.
You got to know Vision died and shit. But what I'm saying.
I'm joking.
They still did a whole thing where it was Scarlet Witch. There was nobody involved from the other things other than Vision. You know what I mean? Like they brought in the girl from Thor or whatever, but it wasn't like it had to be part of the Marvel universe, is what I'm saying. Like every movie led into a movie at the end of every movie.
Yeah. You're saying that
Chief, I get you. You're saying more like they could be starting points for someone at any point. But to me, that's how I think about it. They could be starting points for any point. You don't have to. You can come in cold and be like, "Dang, maybe I should catch up with the rest of the MCU." But I'm starting with Loki. Loki might be a little slow for you, but I'm definitely starting with WandaVision because now, I get it. This is like the movies. Cool. I missed a few.
The worst one to start with. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
There are people that were really mad about it, but I think. I mean, you can't if you're interested in this joint and you're like, oh, okay, let me go back. It's a good like entry point if you want it to be an entry point. There are just so many things that you don't understand.
You said if anybody's interested is watch tons of this stuff before these things come into play. I mean, you could not have missed an Avengers film and then watch WandaVision and been like, oh yeah, I can see what the fuss is about this Marvel Cinematic Universe. You wouldn't do that. I guess. People would be like, what? Why are they changing from another decade every episode?
And people did, but even those people still watched the movies. Right. Like, they got it. They were like, well, what is this about?
Can you imagine with no movie connection to them? They'd be like...
But there were people that had no movie connection to this, was like, this is a great concept. I want to see where this came from.
Wow.
At least that's my Facebook wall is more sophisticated than yours, then, damn it. So
I don't care. I need an unbougie wall on that. I need people who are like, yeah, I've been following
looking for the art. They're looking for the art. They still talking about the what is it, Theseus boat joint. You know what I mean? They still talking about that line, man. Like, come on. Anyway.
Yeah.
May I go next? Sorry.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Miss Card. Oh yeah. So yeah, man. What's her name? Haley Atwell, whatever. Yeah. Look. She can come back. She need to come back, man. Like they if anybody got shortchanged, it's not Scarlett Johansson, it's Haley Atwell, because they cut her show short. I was down. Yeah, but that's fine. That's fine. Yes, I know it went 2 seasons, but I mean, like they could have gone further. They could have. Well, I mean, Agent Carter wasn't garbage, so of course. But I'm down for seeing her more in the movies and just dancing with old boy and having a date with old boy, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, she needs to have her own joint after a certain point. You know what I mean? Then just being old in bed, like, you know what I mean? Like, die, like come on, like in the movie, you know what I mean? So I'm down for the connection just to see how this universe goes. I'm also excited to see if Doctor Strange puts like the team together. You know what I mean? To kind of like King, the multiverse team, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what If is leading up to.
Whatever this Avengers squad is going to be.
Right.
And I want that team to be led by Sam Wilson's Captain America. Because, that's the thing.
Well, that's Avengers. I'm talking about, like, the multiverse Avengers or whatever that's going to stop that part of it. I think they're separating it out, dog.
The tricky thing is we'll have Benedict Cumberbatch. We'll have Tom Holland Spider-Man. But I'm curious as to who else we could put in that mix. Like, are we going to have Is this our way we get Michael B. Jordan back in there with Killmonger? Because we see him helping Tony Stark. We shouldn't have Chris. Well, maybe we have Chris Evans because it's not like he said I ain't coming back. He didn't say that. Maybe this is a way for another Mark Ruffalo Hulk. There are lots of possibilities. What if all that happens? It's exciting. So yeah, Jace, what are you thinking? Are you excited about this or what?
I'm excited because I mean, it's cool to hear. Is always like you go to a cartoon and you hear the actors you're used to. Like hearing T'Challa is, I mean, T'Challa. You're not. Oh, is that? Oh, that dude sounds like T'Challa. But then you gotta look at the credits.
That's Keith David.
Oh, that ain't T'Challa. Exactly. So I mean, hey, you can hear. Gosh, I mean, like you can see. I mean, one of the Chris's. Oh, okay, he's there. Okay, he's gonna do Thor's voice. Okay, good. It's actually like okay, this brings that continuity. It's like it's the same person but a different world, and I'm fine with kind of like Chief. I'm fine with it being self-contained. I don't need to go back. I mean, like I mean, we're all in on the Marvel universe, but if I just wanted to watch a comic book, I mean, cartoon straight through, I would like that too. Versus kind of that thing for Star Wars, Clone Wars season 7. It's real dicey if I can really watch Clone Wars season 7 and then not right after that go put in Revenge of the Sith and then kind of try and figure out how to mix them together. I would just kind of like to be able to watch that straight through. I think a little bit more than having to connect it with everything else.
Now DC did that for you way early on in Arrow season, 2 or 3, where they did a thing with Vixen, him, and Flash. So it had to have been 3 or 4. So and
it may have been 3.
Yeah, and then like season 4, the only connection was, oh yeah, Vixen came in real life, same voices, everything. Vixen came in the real live action. It was like, oh yeah, we had an animated adventure. I'm like, and that was like the only haha connection to that, but there was still a connection. Like they tried to connect the shows and the animated thing, but most people think of those. I think it was only 1 or 2, like animated adventures with.
They did Ray too, and he showed up.
Ray, that was the other one. That was the other one. Yeah, I was trying to remember the other one. Yeah, they did the Ray. So they tried it, but you can have them self-contained because they were on their own adventures. But then those same heroes ended up having another adventure in real life. It wasn't really connected, but it was like
Well, I think the
DC did that for you.
You can watch.
CW did that for you.
You'll be able to watch Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness and not have watched What If. But I think what they're going to do is just be like, listen, this is an opportunity to just be like, hey, let's connect this stuff. Let's show Peggy Carter as a superhero. And you don't have to watch What If. It's just like, oh, they're in all these different worlds. And wait, Peggy Carter is Captain America or Captain Britain in this joint. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, wait, the Avengers are zombies. I mean, they don't have to spend like the whole movie dealing with it. It's just like them popping from world to world. It's like, oh, okay, that's weird. See, I'm excited about it. Last thing I totally forgot to mention. Yeah, I forgot to mention this part about our Disney, Marvel, and Scarlett Johansson thing. Disney is making Eternals and Free Guy theatrical only. You can't watch them on Disney Plus Access. You'll be able to watch them on Disney Plus later, but you won't be able to pay that $30. And so you won't be able to hear Mariah Carey's Fantasy for 50 times until you go to the theaters and see Free Guy, or wait till whenever it comes out on Blu-ray. So I thought that was interesting because I feel like people aren't that excited about Eternals, and I don't know how many people are excited about Shang-Chi. And using these films as barometers of, look, nobody's going to the theaters, we can't release these movies. I don't know. I feel like those two would be better suited to have that Disney Plus release, so that way people can be like, yeah, I want to see it, but I'm not going to the theater and risking this virus for it.
Okay, did you guys see the last Eternals trailer?
I did.
Yeah.
It was like them sitting at the daggone dinner table. It's like, you really expecting me to pay $30, go see a virus for this? Like, come on. You guys
they care only the fans that may or may not care about the pandemic.
That is a Marvel brand film. Like, the Marvel brand is going to make people go see it. It's not going to be like, oh, yeah, this Eternals looks so great. People aren't buzzing about it on whatever. So, all right. Let's see here. Last thing. Speaking of people who need agents, Matt Damon has been on this ridiculous turn. He and his agent were going to be my dummy of the week, but I had to change because there was another one. But in addition to, by the way, I had to stop saying this slang words towards the LGBT population because my daughter called me out on it. No, wait, I never actually said that word. It was just a hypothetical thing from a joke that I may have told her and made her say this. That whole thing is just really confusing. I feel like sometimes celebrities overshare, especially things that does them no good to share. It's like, listen, nobody needed to know that you had an issue not saying this word. Just like Papa John's. It's so hard not to say the N word. You know who didn't know that? Anybody. Except for people in your circle. So you don't need to say it. Nobody cares. I mean, nobody, not that nobody cares, but it's like, nobody cares until you say it.
Matt Damon was digging himself out of another hole, so he tried to hit, like, oh, I'm evolving, by changing, not saying the word I didn't really say, but I might have said in the joke. He was literally just like, oh, shoot, you guys heard me say something else stupid?
He was all over the place with that.
Look over here. Oh, shoot, that was horrible, too. Oh, shoot, look over here.
It was terrible. So in the interim, and maybe proving that karma does matter to some people, he revealed that he had to turn down the role of Harvey Dent in this little indie film called The Dark Knight that you may have heard of. And apparently had some scheduling conflict. He was set up for another movie, had to do that. And I feel like Aaron Eckhart should send him a bouquet, maybe one of those fruit baskets every month or every year. Just like, thanks, dude, appreciate you. Because that's a bad one to miss out on.
Is it the Great Wall he missed it for?
You know what? It's probably possible. Now I'm curious. Now you're gonna have me go look for Matt Damon's 2008, 2000. Because if it's
Dark Knight, couldn't have been Great Wall. That wasn't that long ago.
You know what?
It feels like
It must have been a Bourne movie. It had to have been a Bourne movie.
I too have evolved. I'm not watching movies that look stupid and a complete waste of my time. Like Great
Thank
Wall.
you. Now you're on my level. Thank you.
Can I post on your bougie
I don't
wall
look
too?
at stupid shit. Like the wall. Great Wall. What, this looks whack. What, is a white dude? Great. Wonderful.
Well, I mean, sometimes I watch it.
He got me with The Last Samurai, but that's it. I was like, I ain't getting got no more.
That looked terrible.
Actually, Last Samurai wasn't terrible.
Well, it was bad for what it represented. So
in
2008, he did Shay Part 2. I hope that was what held him off. So
the what?
The Shay Part 2. He also did The Informant and Invictus in 2009. So
none of those cares. Nobody cares about.
You know what? I'm gonna make you my honorary dummy of the week. All right, fellas, it's that magical time of the week. Speaking of, who are your nominees for dummies of the week? Jace, start us off, bro. Shot.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a little something different though. My dummy of the week is the Facebook moderators. I know you guys have all seen the Novak Djokovic statement about Simone Biles being, to be better under pressure. And then I think later on this week we all saw after everybody's post, it's like the Facebook moderators have rated this statement mostly false. Then you actually look at it, you're like, he was asked a question about what happened to Simone Biles. Then he said, kind of his, well, I think as an athlete, it's a privilege to be, under pressure, It's like, so the context, you are really talking about Simone Biles. She's not good under pressure. So that's not mostly false. Even if it was a question directed saying, hey, Simone Biles, you need to man up and, be better. And then decides to break a racket and, lose his bronze medal game because he wasn't actually that good under pressure this month either. Sorry. So the Facebook moderators for saying that mostly false is actually mostly true, and they are my dummy of the week.
Cool. My nominee is, continuing with our Olympic theme, is me for staying up super late watching everything, including equestrian racing. I don't care about Bruce Springsteen's daughter, but apparently she knocked a pole. And I'm like, dude, she didn't knock the pole. Her horse did. I don't know how we're giving these riders the medals. The horses, they're doing all the work. But my real dummy is the U.S. medal counting system. Because in a very CBS best comedy at 8 p.m., the U.S. has decided gold medals, if if we were leading in the gold medal count, we would be leading in gold. We would be leading in medals. But because we're not number one at everything. And this is why, because we're not number one in this. We have to start a massage and clarify and have a special designation. We're leading in the overall medals, which never has been a thing. It's like, now we're leading in the medals. And by the way, if you look to the left where it says gold, maybe China has most, but you should ignore that and focus on all our nice silver and bronze. And granted, those silver and bronze medals matter because there are people who get really excited to get bronze. But the way we're doing it and trying to prop ourselves up for no reason. I mean, we have 5,000 athletes. Some of these nations have like 3 people, and they're like ecstatic just to be there. We're like, all right, let's figure out a way that we can still be number one, even though we're not number one. In this
so stupid. They used to be the smallest part of the graphic, and the gold used to be up here.
Right.
Now it's the other way.
Hey, everybody, we're a participation trophy winner. So what?
Right.
That's my number.
We got medals.
Right.
Don't ask us
medals,
what they are.
Yeah. All right, Gunner, who's your nominee?
Oh man, so
you gonna say the versus team?
It was going to be somebody.
You were going to say the versus team for putting poor Dipset out there to get sacrificed to the last?
It was going to be somebody else before the freaking Dipset decided to jump their geriatric butt non-performance since 2003 on the stage. Freaking Jim Jones just fell off the stage. Jules Santana is 39 years old. Look at my face. I look like I'm 39, 33. That mama look like he's my dad's age, and my dad don't even look his age. Jules Santana look like he's an 85-year-old man who used to stand in the corner in front of the dope bodega.
I don't know how old
I swear to goodness.
But
that mama look old as a mug, dude. I'm sitting here like, how do these cats? And like the whole Locks is like at least 10 years older than them or something. Like, right? I'm like, come on. And they were just on stage like, look. And that's the clear difference between like what stage presence and like studio production, right? You know what I mean? I'm like,
I looked on your Facebook wall. I'm gonna make a joke here about I think we should credit their stage presence to Diddy.
Listen, yeah, I hope Diddy. Real talk. I hope Diddy gets all the credit for the Locks' like health and wellness, as much crap as he got for Black Rob's, bad life decisions. I'm like, come on, man, you can't be blaming Diddy for everything.
They can't. Dang. Apparently they do. Apparently they
do. Apparently,
they voted
somebody
and
come on my wall still said something.
Right.
I'm like, did y'all not get the joke?
Right.
They got the joke. Anyway, so yeah, seriously, the entire Dipset, and I loved that one album. I don't even know why they tried to do a versus with one daggone album or 2 albums with 4 hits, whatever it was. With 4 hits. One of them was that Dream. That was it. Wow. Anyway, when it was still Dream, that's how long ago that was.
Yeah.
So
that's a minute ago.
It was a long time ago. I'm good. And Jules Santana looked like he was my age then. He does not now. Dummies of the week. All the entire Dipset.
Dip out. Chief, who's your nominee?
Kelvin Benjamin. He was used to be a wide receiver for Carolina at one point, and then he pretty much kind of ate his way out the league. So he came in this year to the Giants camp in the mid 260s, and so the coach told him, "Hey, listen. We need you to lose some weight. We want you around, 250, 251.
Is he playing tackle?
Tight end. So we want you around 250, 251. So, a month, 6 weeks go by. The man was 268 now. So they cut his ass. Like, listen, you know what I mean?
This ain't working.
Right. They cut him. So he's leaving. So he's like, yeah, the Giants suck. The organization sucks. You're not going to win with Joe Judge. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, you had 11, 12 pounds to lose, and you refused to do. You gained weight. You gained weight. And now you're mad at the Giants organization, not because they didn't tell you to lose weight, but because you gained weight. What do you want them to do? How does that show you're serious about going out there doing what you need to do, and then you're going to be mad at them, and you put on 5 or 6 pounds. Like that doesn't even make sense. Like let's weigh them. Oh, you're almost 270 now. Yeah. Like, go ahead, man. You know what I mean? Go ahead, dude. Now you're almost 20 pounds more than what we wanted you at. Like, yeah, like, go ahead, man. And now you're mad. Oh, this is it for me in football. Yeah, it's about time. Yeah, it's time for you to go, man. Yeah, because obviously you can't leave the bread alone or the carbs or something. I don't know what you was doing, man. But yeah, if you're gonna pay me $3-4 million, a year, I'm gonna make sure I lose that weight. You know what I mean? Just like, yo, I'm gonna lose that weight. I got 6 weeks to lose 10 pounds. Sure. I have enough money to call a nutritionist,
right? A personal chef.
You're just going to not eat,
and we're gonna get at it.
How many millions of dollars that is?
Yeah, 3 or 4 million. He was a vet. They gonna pay him 3 or 4 million.
Fast for a month.
Oh, yeah.
But nah,
this time to juice.
Nah, my man gained the weight. He gained weight.
I'm gonna show y'all.
And that
I'm gonna keep eating.
So yeah, Kevin Benjamin is my dummy of the week. When I read that article, I was like, oh.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I don't need to look at it.
I thought right to this moment. I said, well, I found my dummy of the week. So here we are.
All right. Well, fellas, thank you as always. Thank y'all out there for listening and watching. This episode of Lyles Movie Files has been filed.